Hi, this is Anthony Amico, and you're watching the Tri-State Report. Welcome to our second edition. You're going to watch this show, and you're going to learn information you're not going to find anywhere else. Today is December 17th, 2008. That's the day we're creating this show. It's a very interesting time in our economy, very challenging, but yet very exciting. One of the things that I believe in is that if we concentrate and focus on our faith, our family, our job, our neighbor, our house, our neighbor, our community, things will work out well. If your neighbor across the street needs their garage door painted, but they can't afford paint, and you have a can of paint, bring your neighbor a can of paint and help them paint it. Neighbor needs help with their yard. Let's make the community look as good as possible, and everything will start rising and lifting up from there, in my opinion. Tonight we're going to talk about job creation, whether you have a job or are displaced from the job that you had. One of the ways to get the economy rolling again is job creation. Start your own business, perhaps a service business where the liability is less and maybe the startup costs aren't as high. Might be a way to get things rolling again with the economy as well. One of the things I was thinking about is people start their own business, they can go ahead and even hire, go to a temp agency, and they can hire from the temporary service, the temp agency, people that they need for a temporary basis, whether it's a couple hours a week, couple hours a day. That way it's not too much a strain on the budget of a growing business. You get a chance to test out those people get a chance to test out you without, once again, the big expense of having it. Tonight we have Tom Lunney, who is a SCORE counselor. SCORE is the Service Corps of Retired Executives, is the counseling arm of the Small Business Administration. It's strictly philanthropy, and we'll have Tom talk to us about all sorts of different things and what types of businesses are viable in this economy, Tom.
Well, Anthony, first off, thank you for having me on your show. And I couldn't agree with you more about creating more September 12th people, as I call them. Everybody remembers September 11, 2001. September 12th, we woke up to a very different nation, and it's exactly what you're trying to get people to come back to right now, and I applaud you for that. Types of businesses right now which are extremely viable are just about anything in the service industry. And by service industry, what I'm talking about is things that other people basically either cannot or will not do for themselves. And we're getting ready to see a resurgence in some industries that basically have been kind of dormant here for the last 20 years, such as auto mechanics. Most people, as you well know, folks are not out there buying as many new cars as they used to. They're hanging on to the ones they have. By doing so, cars need maintenance.
Right.
People usually will go back to the dealer they bought it from in order to get that maintenance. Well, some of the dealers you bought your car from aren't here anymore. So your independent garages and your independent dealers out there, they're going to have much more of a clientele in the next, I would predict, about 5 years than they've had previously. All of the medical facilities we have around here, they're seeing an ever-expanding boom of folks come down to there as people lose their health benefits and they go to the emergency rooms and that type of thing in order to get standard health care. Those are exploding. So anything that you can do health industry-wise is a great thing to try to get into right now.
So the economy doesn't always have to be good for opportunity to exist.
Oh, most certainly not.
There's people that made money during the Depression.
Most of the people, if you look back into the 30s, and I remember my dad telling me the people that he dealt with back then, the aunts that he had were considered the great aunts because they all had government jobs. One of the things that you should look at with what you have right now is all different levels of government, federal, state, local. On the federal level, most of those people are retiring, and they have got to replace those people. The government's not going out of business. As a matter of fact, they're beginning to get into businesses they've never been into before. The banking business, we're getting ready to get into the car business.
Right.
All types of things like that. And regardless of what you think your skill set is for going into government service, I would apply, and I would apply at all levels. It doesn't cost anything to apply, and if you get hired, you got one of the best jobs you'll ever have as far as your benefits and stuff go for the remainder of your time on earth. And so it's something that people should be investigating.
And sometimes people can become substitute teachers. Maybe they can get a teaching certificate and become a substitute teacher at different schools and look what the requirements are. I think there's a lot of opportunities out there, but maybe, and I'm as guilty as anybody, just so used to a certain way, and also, oh, now we have to be creative. And it's kind of a jarring. The paradigm has certainly shifted.
Well, it most certainly is. I remember when I got my master's degree, I was asked if I could come teach human resources. That's what I had my master's degree in. I said, well, am I qualified to do that? And the answer was, oh, yeah. And that was 20 years ago, and I'm still teaching on an adjunct basis over here for one of the local colleges we have here in Cincinnati. With a lot of people that do have some type of secondary degree, there's a lot of call for that out there, again, on an adjunct type basis for going out and teaching people.
There is, and a lot of people at this time are going back to school too, to retrain, relearn, learn a new skill set, whatever phraseology someone wants to utilize. But there's opportunities everywhere. It's just maybe not as, I guess, it's not as cherry-picking time as it used to be, perhaps.
No, it's not, and you and 2,000 of your closest friends are applying for the same position. So there is how do you differentiate yourself, if you want to think of it that way? And that's really not the point. The point is go out and apply. And the other point is go out there and try to make yourself as marketable as possible. The people that are getting jobs right now are the ones that are making it easy for folks to hire them. Networking opportunities abound. Join some of these small networking clubs that we have around here.
And now we're during the holiday season where there's a million parties going on. And this is, you may speak to a recruiter who says, well, nothing's going on right now. This may be true, because a lot of folks will take vacation and that sort of thing in the hiring departments. However, though, you never know who else. These same people who are on vacation you may meet at a party or networking events. So this is now definitely the time, any time is, but definitely a time to be out and about, volunteering, talking to people, joining groups, as you said, going to parties, and being very, very, very visible. There's a lot of online opportunities to look for jobs, but once again, you and 2,000 of your closest friends are going for the same thing. Just like a business is created in relationships, so are jobs.
Correct.
You never know where you might run into somebody you knew 5 years ago. What are you doing now? This and that. Oh, well, I have a job. He's like, I just ran into you at the store, and here I am, have a job offer. You just never know.
And there are events that occur around here that will be job-related. I was recently asked to come help Mayor Mallory when he was doing one of his series on small businesses down. We did this one at the Centos Center in October. I was there as a SCORE representative. And we were expecting maybe 250, 300 people max. Over 700 people were there. Of those 700 people, most of them came down to find out how their personal finance impacts being able to open their own business. And just by walking around in the room and talking to the different people that were there were a lot of relationships made, a lot of dots connected between just those folks on how they can help each other. One of the other things that we need to do nowadays, compliments of all the interconnectivity that we have, is you have to quit looking at people as your competition and start looking at them as your partner.
Exactly.
So, and you've experienced this in what you do, I'm sure.